Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome to Alex Builds. We've now got issue 59 of Eaglemoss's Build Your Own Back to the Future Delorean. Okay, so issue 59, there's not a lot of parts supplied with this one, but there is quite a lot to do. So we're doing some work on the rear bulkhead still, and then we're attaching it all together and plugging in some more cables. So let me show you what we're doing. So these are the parts we get. As I said, we get a couple of details, this one here, and we get a little pipe and that up here for the rear bulkhead. These are the lights for the Christmas tree. We get two green LEDs in there, so we'll put them to the side. Let's take a look at what we're doing in the magazine. So as we flick through, so first off we've got this pipe here, and this is going to be going just next to the flux capacitor, but we're going to feed it underneath that wire, and this is going to dangle there for a few minutes. Then we're going to start assembling this cable here. So we're going to take one of the cables, we're going to put two of these little details on. These are purple, so we can't really get them mixed up. Then they're going to get plugged in just underneath the Christmas tree. We're then going to put a pipe into this detail here. That's then going to get fixed with two AP screws onto the upper bulkhead. That's then going to get plugged in to just underneath the Christmas tree. This wire that comes from here is then going to get plugged into here. Then we're installing the LED and tacking it on the back. Well, then there's a black cable that comes up from just beside the driver's seat. That's going to get plugged in just underneath the flux capacitor, and then we can start attaching the upper bulkhead to the lower bulkhead. We're going to do that with 4 FP screws. This pipe that comes up here and runs down the passenger side, that's going to get locked in with an FP screw. Then we're just plugging in all these cables just here. So we've got 16, 15 and this one here. Mine will be different to yours because I'm using the Model Mods wireless 1 to 6, so mine will be different, but I will point that out when we get to that point in the video. Then we've got to start plugging in all these pipes. So this one that comes down here is going to get plugged in. The ones that are coming up from the actual dash panel that come up to the rear bulkhead, we're going to start plugging them all in these various places. And a couple more things to plug in. We've got number 19, number 22. Told you there was a lot to do. 23, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and the power cable. Then we're finally going to attach that onto the actual chassis itself. So we want us to have our cables out the side, so we need to make sure we've got all our cables out the side. The steering rod is going into the actual steering rack. Then we're going to start putting these down with DM screws, and then we've got like a steering lock with BM screws, sorry. That's going to get locked in just there. By the end of all of that, we should have something that looks a little like that. So once we've done that, that's basically us finished with the lower half of the car. We've done that, and we're now starting the upper half of the car. So in issue 60, we start the upper frame. So we can put this part away, and we're going to start work on the upper frame in the next issue. So I did tell you there is a lot to do. Yeah, I'm all caught up on the Mike Lane mods for the moment at this stage where I'm at. So I've got all them installed. So now it's ready to move on to the next stage. So without further ado, let's get these parts open and start building. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be adding a pipe down here. So that is this pipe right here. There is a push fit connection and it is a flexible pipe. So very, very cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to slide that underneath this gold part here. Once we've got that in, we can then plug it just in next to there, just like so. So we want to straighten that up just a tad. So it's fully in. So that's that now installed there. That's just going to dangle there for the moment, and when we attach this to the lower bulkhead, this will get plugged in then. So we were supplied with 2 pipes. We want to take the longer one. I'm just going to stretch that out, and we've got these 2 little purple details. So we're going to start sliding these over the top of this. So let's do this one. Slide that in. It's quite hard to push these on, but they do go on. I'm going to pull this down a little. Then the second one's going to go on as well. This one just wants to go just basically on the end, just like so. So we've got the 2 sort of purple parts just there. So now we bring back the upper part of the bulkhead. These are just going to plug in just down here. So this one I'm going to bring back just a tad. But they're basically just going to line that up back a bit more, and then we can push that into the hole just there and there. So now this cable is just going to hang loose for the moment as well. Next we're going to need to take this part here. I am going to widen both the ends with a cocktail stick just to make sure they go on nice. That's that one and that one. Right, so I want to take this, and I don't know if it matters which way we go. I think it's this one. I'm going to plug this into there just like so. Now this is going to be going on this part of the bulkhead, so there is a location pin, so we want this cable to be closest to the flux capacitor at the top, so that's how we know we've got it the right way around. So this is now going to get plugged into here just like so, and then we can turn it over, and we're going to need 2 AP screws in the back. Let's get the first one in. That's going just underneath where we put this tab the last time, so let's get the first one in just there. Second one is going in this hole here. So let's get that one in. And there we are. That's them 2 screws in, and that detail is now added onto there. So now this pipe wants to come round, and just underneath here, I'll try and bring it, we've got 2 nipples underneath there. The one closest this detail, this is going to get plugged into, so we're going to run this cable down here, and we can plug it into there, just like so. So we sort of train this wire around, just like that. I'm going to use the actual door of the flux capacitor just to keep that there. Now this other cable that we put in a moment ago, one with the 2 purple bits, this is going to come round, and this is going to plug in to the opposite side on here. So we can get this is going to come round and slide over the nipple onto that one. So we should have that just like so on there. So now it's this twin LED that we're going to be putting in, so we need to take this, flip this over, and we can put these LEDs just in here. I did, with my flux capacitor, have to put a bit of black tape on there just to hold that LED in, because it would not stay in. It was a very, very loose fit. These are a bit snugger, so they ain't going to fall out, so ain't going to have that problem. So we've done that. Now we can bend these this way, just like so, and we've got a tab that's going to go just down here. So we can put them there, and we're going to put a tab just over here. That's the tab on. Then we can take an AP screw again. I do believe this is the last AP screw we use in this issue. So let's get this in. There we are. So that's that now attached onto there like that. So we've got the 2 LEDs behind there. So now we need to bring in the actual lower part of the bulkhead, all of our parts that we've done before. So let's bring that in. Okay, now here it is. Now we've got a lot of stuff to plug in. So the first thing that's going to get plugged in is this black cable just here. The one that comes up next to the fire hose, that's the one we want. That's going to get plugged into this nipple underneath here, the one next to the one we put in. So we're going to plug that in onto here, just like so. Make sure our LED cables are out of the way. Make sure these stay this side. Now we can start lowering this down. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a dollop of glue just here. What I'm going to do is this pipe here doesn't want to stay in, so I'm going to make sure it stays in, and I'm going to glue it in because I don't plan on taking it apart ever again. That's the glue in there. I can take this, make sure we get everything out of the way that's supposed to be in the way, and we can plug that into the nipple underneath the flux capacitor. Give that a few seconds and that will dry and take to that. which it has already. Now, making sure all of these cables that we've got coming up here are around the front, because we want them down the front. Alright, now we can turn this over. This is now going to get fixed on to here. So we're going to flip this over and we're going to be using FP screws to secure this in. Alright, so I'm going to turn this over and get the first FP screw. I'll try and get a good angle for you so you can see. Probably better on the old side cam for now. Let's get one in first. And we can just put this one in a little loosely, and then we'll start working our way down. Let's get the second one. And I'm going to tighten them two up. Nice. Nice. Right, two more to go. So let's move that in a bit more. There we are. Let's get an FP screw in there. There we are. And the very last one, I can turn this around. It's going just in that hole there. So I'm going to unplug this. I was testing, so I had that plugged in. Okay, so now we have got the upper and lower bulkhead parts all connected together, looking very, very cool indeed. So what we're going to need to do now is this pipe here, the one that comes down the passenger side. We need to make sure that goes in the right hole, and then we're going to put an FP screw in the back, just in this hole here. So let's turn that around, grab an FP screw. Let's secure this one in place. So this is going in the big hole at the back. Can't really miss it. Just down here. Making sure that that's lining up. And grab it. There we are. That's that one now in there. Okay, so we can now start plugging these in. So we've got cable number 16 just there. And that's going to be obviously plugged into number 16 on here. We can slide that one in. She's there. Next is number 15, which I think we'll find is the Christmas tree. I can come across, feed it through. It can be quite difficult keeping all these little wires out of the way sometimes. Right, let's get that one in. Number 15 is going down this side. Push that one in, so that's that one in. Then we can take this cable. I did say that I was doing mine different. That's because I've got the Model Mods wireless 1 to 6 already installed on here, so that's ready. I'll show you that working at the end of the video. So we can take this now. Going to put it all the way around, and we're going to plug that into there. There we are. So that's that one plugged in. Right, so now down here, back where we were, take some tweezers. I'm going to use tweezers for this. This pipe that we first put in right at the beginning of the video, we're going to plug that in to the fire hydrant part. So I'm going to use this black cable. Do I want that behind it? Yeah, this black cable goes behind it. So we want to make sure that stays behind it as we're plugging that in. That down. There we are. That's that cable down in there. Didn't want to go in for a sec. So we've got the black cable from the Christmas tree. Zoom in and let you have a look. We've got the black cable that comes from the Christmas tree. Let me turn it around for you. this black cable comes along around here behind this pipe, then in front of the flux capacitor down there. Alright, so we're going to start plugging in these set of cables, the one that run down the side, the passenger side, so we're going to have them. So I'm just going to pull them out for a sec, because I might have to pull these through to get the thing level. So we want the black one first, that's going to go in the bottom. Just push that in. Just down there. And then we can make that out. Is that, can you see that? Just there. And then we're going to take the two smaller black ones, they're going to get plugged in right above it. So let's take this one first. Plug that one in. And the one next to it goes in the one next to it. Just like so. Then the coloured one goes right at the top. Just like so. So now we can pull these cables sort of through, have them sitting down beside the passenger seat, just down there. But on this side here. So we've got this little plug just down here. So we can make that out. Just down here, there's another plug. So we're going to do exactly the same. So the black one, the thicker the black at the bottom. Then the two smaller ones are going to get plugged in above that. Sorry. Then the multicoloured one is getting plugged in above that. Just like so. Then the two coloured black ones. So that one in there and that one in there. So that's there. I am going to just adjust this so I can have it nicely sat down there. So now comes the fun part. We're going to bring in the actual chassis itself and start plugging the more cables in. Okay, so we've now brought in the actual chassis itself and we can start plugging some more cables in. So we're going to put, you've got down here 9, 10, 23, 11. Yeah, we've got a few down there. So we're going to start plugging these in. So let's go with the order that it wants us to go in. So let's find these. Let's move these out of the way. I think it's these bottom ones here. So we've got 8, we've got 12. So we've got 22, which is next. 19 is there. So they come from this side. Can be half the problem trying to find the actual ones that you need. So number 19 is this one. Let's plug that one in. So we come up and go just in. There, just like so. Then number 22, which is this one here. Just double check. Yep, 22. This one can go next to 21. Just there. And number 23, which is on this side. It's going to go there. So it's starting to get a little tighter now because it's starting to pull the cables in. So that's that one. Right, number 6. Number 6, let's get that in. Just down that. Number 8, where are you? I did see you earlier. I know you're here somewhere. Number 12, number 8 is this one. It's starting to get a little fiddly down here. goes in that one. Number 9. Just going to carry these on now. So this one here, it must be number 10. Yep. Number 11. And the very last one, just here, which must be number 12. Yes, it is. It's got a slot in here. There we are. That's them all in there. So apart from the actual power cable as well, the power cable goes right at the end on this side, right here. So we can plug that in a sec. So we can actually move around. Maneuver this round. Grab the power cable and that gets plugged into just here, and voila. So now we can start fitting this on. So make sure our steering part goes down into here. Make sure we've got no trapped cables. So now we're going to start lowering this down. So we've put this on here. We want this in here, which it is. The cables coming out the side here, which they are. Apart from that, let's push all them out. Use this actual cable from Modern Mods to keep these down and out of the way, just like so. Right, now that's going to go on there somehow, fits nicely. Now we've got to make sure that this part goes right the way down into the actual steering rack part, which it is. So we should be able to turn the wheels. Alright, so making sure this is sat nice and snug on there. This part down here, there is the little steering part in there that when you turn it, it does turn the wheels just like that. So we've got that in there. Next, we want to flip this over. We don't want to flip this over. We want to put some DM screws in these 4 holes either side. Get another one in. I'm going to go in this back one here. There we are. Now I'm going to do 2 more holes either side of here. So the first one is right down here, just between these pipes. That's that one, and the very last screw is at the back, just behind this chair, just there. Get that one there. Quite fiddly to get this down into there. Come here. Right, down there. There we are. That one's got it. There we are. That's that in. Whew. So that's that now attached onto there. That ain't going anywhere. So the last thing to do is put this little bracket in. This is going to hold the steering rack in. So we're going to finger that there. There is some people who have come out with a metal one of these. I do believe it's metal. Let's get the first screw in. The very last one is going in this one here. Let's move these cables out of the way again. Screw that down. Just like so. NASA's done. Look at that. We've now got our Delorean. I'll turn it around so you can see it on the side cam. Look at that. Doesn't that look cool? We've got the Delorean now getting there. So this can go up on the shelf now, because basically we're not going to touch this for quite a while. We're going to be working on the top half first. So this can basically get put away to protect from dust and everything. Right, okay, so I did promise you I'd show you how to use the, I'll turn this around this way. So we've got all this ready. We've got the, I put some batteries in this. It is battery powered. So I've got my model mods 1 to 6, and all we're going to do is we can press the buttons and they'll start turning on. So that's just turned on the dashboard lights. If I press that one, this one brings on the flux capacitor and the Christmas tree. I don't know if we can make that out because it's quite faint. Just 2 LEDs in there. Nothing spectacular. The time circuits is also on, as you can see in the top camera. There's everything on, everything off. So there you go, guys. That is issue 59 all completed. I did enjoy that issue. There was a lot of fiddly bits, especially putting all the cables into the eaglemoss circuit board from the actual chassis itself. Some of the cables were quite tight getting in there, but we got them all in. All fits perfectly, and we're ready to move on to the next step now. So if you like this video, please leave a like down below, and if you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye bye.